mosquito would land on the branch of a tree and get stuck in the sap.
If Men in Black had a baby with Hellboy, this is what that baby would look like.
That's better. Oh! Hell yeah!
Moral of the story, wear a condom. I had kind of forgotten about this movie until Lapis Time suggested covering it. And I'm glad they did, because upon revisiting this movie, I've discovered some choice words that I have for it. Words like disgusting.
Yes. No. Yes, it is. Yes, it's chicken tikka. Chicken tikka.
Putrid. And humorous. Oh, no, wait, I meant to say hideous. If you can stomach the idea of watching any further, I guess we should find out what happens in... Ryan Reynolds plays the same character he always plays, but in this movie his name is Nick, a cop working alongside his partner in crime resolution, Kevin Bacon. On a recent job they discovered some gold, which Nick decided to bury in his garden. But the very next day his conscience gets the best of him and he tells Kevin Bacon that he wants to be a good boy and hand the gold into evidence. Now, anyone who has ever seen a movie before will predict that Kevin Bacon will betray his partner, saying something along the lines of, I can't let you do that. No, Samwise, the ring is mine. Oh, what am I doing? Lord of the Rings should never be mentioned in the same breath as R.I.P.D. Well, anyway, Nick gets shot and falls down. Well, that looked terrible. The sound was also very bland. Here, let me spice it up for you. That took me 2 seconds, and now the scene feels like an actual death scene. So Nick wakes up and everything around him is in slow motion for some reason. And then he gets pulled up into a sky vortex, which is basically a portal into the afterlife. Now, call me a pussy, but I would be screaming my guts out if I was suddenly being yanked into the stratosphere against my will. But Nick floats upwards emotionless, like a Tesco's carrier bag in the wind. He gets pulled into a room where this woman named Proctor explains his situation.
Come on, genius. I know you can get there.
This is a joke.
Hilarious.
I bet you can't wait for the next scene she's in. Proctor gives Nick an ultimatum. He can let the gods decide his fates of heaven or hell, or he can work for the R.I.P.D instead and earn his ticket to the good place. But what the hell is the R.I.P.D, you ask? Well, firstly, I'm glad you care enough to ask. The R.I.P.D, or Rest in Peace Department, is a team of dead cops who hunt down dead souls who have escaped judgment somehow. After seeing how helplessly the gods ragdoll their bodies around in the sky vortex, I really struggled to see how any of these souls could escape. Nick is shown around the R.I.P.D headquarters, and we get our first taste of what's to come. Tastes like crap. Nick is assigned to partner up with a lawman from the 1800s.
Come on, boy.
It's Jeff Bridges, and he is without argument the best thing about this movie.
Look at the ankles on that girl.
That's what you're into, ankles. That's what does it for you?
In my day, women, they dress very conservatively.
Nick and Jeff Bridges start hunting down the escapee souls, who are very creatively called Deados. It must have taken you minutes to come up with that name. The method of tracking the Deados down is actually creative, where they follow the path of breaking technology due to the Deados' souls having a bad aura. When they pin one of them down, they torture them into confessing into being a Deado in disguise. And the torture device is Indian food?
The dish is chicken tikka masala.
Yes. No. Yes, it is. Yes, it's chicken tikka. Chicken tikka. Oh, yeah. That's a deado. Big old mouth coming in.
They give a flimsy explanation for why this works, but it's still just so bloody weird.
some reason Indian food seems to do the trick. Maybe it's the cumin.
Before we go on, you may be wondering how Nick is able to walk around his hometown without being spotted as someone who should be dead. Well, the movie explains that each member of the R.I.P.D is given an avatar to walk around in. Nick's avatar is an elderly Chinese man, and Jeff Bridges is a smoking hot model. But that's enough about Jeff Bridges. His avatar is an attractive blonde heartbreaker. Oh, no, wait, I'm looking at a young Jeff Bridges now. But for real, his actual avatar. So it turns out these deados are collecting gold, and if you think you've already guessed the plot twist of this movie, I can guarantee that yes, you are in fact correct. I couldn't have been less surprised when it turns out that Kevin Bacon is a deado and also in charge of the gold collecting operation. And because I've seen movies before, it was fairly obvious that these gold parts were going to form one statue, and that statue was going to open up the portal to hell or something. So instead of wasting your time with this big build up to the predictable end, we're instead going to have some fun looking at these disgusting creatures who are working under Kevin Bacon. First, we got Gross Elvis.
Thank you. Oh, thank you very much.
Okay, so now is a good time to shoot him. Please just shoot him. Why aren't you shooting him? He's right there still. Quick, shoot him. Why aren't you shooting him? Oh, this scene. I need to show you this scene. So Nick tries to communicate with his dead wife using his avatar. So I want you to imagine that you're Nick right now. How would you communicate who you are to her? Well, here's how Nick does it.
I haven't left you. It's me.
How about it's me, Nick?
It's me.
You were one word away from success. Or how about Kevin Bacon killed me on the job. My spirit lives on in this Chinese man's body. Please believe me, wife, who I refer to by full name and full address to convince you. Eventually, when they realise Kevin Bacon is behind the gold stuff, they take him into custody, but he sets off a grenade and his fellow deados escape. And we're treated to some shootout/chase scenes. This flabby-necked freak gets his gun jammed and makes some poorly synced grunt noises. Gross Elvis returns to again make me wish I was born without eyes.
Can't take me! Still here, dicks!
Isn't that just the ugliest thing you've ever seen? In the final showdown, we get to see Kevin Bacon's deado look, and it's actually not as awful as I was expecting. Kevin Bacon has Nick's wife on the roof because he needs her as a human sacrifice to activate the gold statue. The direction and choices made while filming this scene make me want to throw up. And I know this is a dumb comedy made for teenagers. All the teenagers are into Jeff Bridges eating Indian food. But would it hurt you to make at least one death impactful? There's no blood, no wound, and again it sounds like crap. No, my wife is dead. This really affects me as a character.
That's all I wanted. Not like this.
Nick and Kevin Bacon face off with some goofy violence, while Jeff Bridges closes off the portal. Then Nick gets his revenge by finishing off Kevin Bacon. When he runs to his dying wife, they shed some tears, and I thought at this point they might ascend into heaven together. But clearly Nick didn't want marriage to actually be forever, as he asks Proctor to keep her alive so he can return to bro time with Jeff. Well, we did say until death do us part, so see ya, bitch. Well, that's it for R.I.P.D, a movie that failed to leave much of an impact, just like the ground floor in Nick's death scene. But upon researching other movies starring Jeff Bridges, I discovered The Big Lebowski, which is actually pretty good.
Where's the money, Lebowski? Where's the money, Lebowski?
It's down there somewhere. Let me take another look.
So it's thanks to R.I.P.D that I discovered The Big Lebowski, and by extension it's also thanks to Lapis Time for recommending R.I.P.D. So for everyone else watching, why not subscribe to Hausenberg Films and comment down below with a film recommendation. It may well be selected for the next episode.